spiritual gifts, and special practices. That's what I'm talking about today. Hello all, it's me, Lauren Riley, and I just wanted to come live and talk about, spiritual gifts and, just the belief that, oh, well, if you do X, Y, and Z, then you can't be a spiritual person. If you do X, Y, and Z, then you must not be X. That kind of thing. Because there seems to still be the notion out there that only certain people can do mediumship, there's only certain people that can be an empath, there's only certain people that can be XYZ. All of that is bunk. All of that is crap. All of that is trash. Okay? You don't, and the biggest one, I'll start with the biggest one out of them all. Oh, you need to be vegan in order to be spiritual. You need to be vegan in order to grow your abilities. You don't need to be vegan to do anything. If you want to be vegan, be vegan. If you like the whole raw foodist thing to a T, knock yourself out. If it makes you feel healthier and actually is healthier for you and you can do it, great. I'm glad. Keep being vegan. I love people that are themselves. And if vegan is you, and if vegan is like inherently who you are as a person, knock yourself out. Do your thing. But don't go into, and do things and tell people, oh, well, you got to be this way in order to do this thing and in order to become a true master of something. You don't need to do crap. If you want to eat Kit Kat bars and go and drink and everything else and practice Reiki and mediumship and be an empath, you can. If you want to eat chicken, again, knock yourself out. Go on, eat your chicken, eat ham, eat steak, eat hamburgers, eat whatever. Okay? The gifts are yours inherently. One of the people that I've learned from that the reason why mediumship exists is to, it's to let people know that life exists after death. And while that may be true, I don't think that's the main reason as to why it exists. Spiritual gifts don't exist as proof of anything to human beings. Spirit doesn't try to prove itself to humans. You can ask for a sign and you may receive what you consider to be a sign, but Spirit's not here to prove itself to you. Spiritual gifts like mediumship, empathic ability and so forth, they exist because you're already given those gifts from the start. It's whether you choose to develop those gifts or not, that's up to you. Everybody, that has the ability, and that's that. It's just like, being born with two eyes and a mouth. And I know there are, I'm disabled too, and not everybody has two legs and not everybody has two arms, and I understand that, but you understand what I'm saying. We're all born with these gifts, but they're just they're underdeveloped. Some people are born with these gifts and they're heightened to a T, and that's why we call them, oh, she's super psychic and blah. Everybody's super psychic, okay? The mediumship doesn't exist, as a form to prove life after death. It can be used in that fashion, and maybe Spirit wants people to use it in that way to help other people. True, but that's not why it exists. It exists because, it exists the same reason lungs and a heart exist, because we're all human beings and we all have these abilities. We can do with telepathy, reading people's minds, not in the way that you see it in the movies, but that's what mediumship and channeling is. It's just basically telepathy from the other beings, and you're just it's coming through you to be, I guess, translated, so to speak. Obviously, since you're a vessel, the method itself isn't going to be as clear as it could be if they were doing it themselves without a vessel. The channel method is only as good as the channeler. So somebody giving the message for the first time, it's going to be, different than someone that's been giving messages for quite a while. Sixth sense abilities exist because we're all born with them. That's why. No other reason why. There's no special thing. Spirit's not like, well, these gifts exist because we want, as the universe, I want to do X, Y, Z. No, there's no special reason for it. I mean, it exists because it exists. because we're all, I guess, we're all spiritual beings having human experience, I guess that the cliche term goes. We can choose, that's why people can choose how to use their gifts. You could, just like people, either you could lay down on a pillow and they go to sleep, or you could take the pillow and choke somebody else or cause them not to breathe anymore. Not that I'm advocating that, but I'm saying, people don't kill people, guns kill people. Well, you can choose to use your spiritual gifts in like a good way, but you can also choose to use it in a negative way. Can you read people without their say so? Technically, yes. Should you do so? No. So, we can use the gifts however we choose to use them. There's no requirement to using them. Granted, if you're eating poorly and your health sucks and you got a cold or whatever else, your gifts aren't going to come through as well as when you're healthy and well. That's just with anything. That doesn't even have to do with developing your gifts at all, your spiritual gifts at all. If you're sick, things aren't going to go as well as when you're healthy. Period. But there's no requirement. I mean, yes, I have heard that when you drink that alcohol, that you can't really sense energy as well, and that kind of plays with your energy field quite a bit. So when you're doing Reiki, if you're going to a Reiki share, you may not want to drink right before then. But as a whole, more or less, you can do what you want, eat what you want, drink what you want, exercise when you want to. There's no specific regimen that's for everyone. So, and that's just what the myth is. Everyone's like, oh, I need this person because she's like the most awesome psychic there is, or he is, or whatever it is. You can be that way too. If you want to develop your gifts and develop your, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and so on and so forth, then do it. You can go ahead and do that. That's all. If you want to do it, look up how to do it or find someone to teach you how and do it. That's it. That's all there is to it. And most of the gifts are rather easy in theory to develop. I mean, granted, I'm not saying that it's easy, it'll come easy all the time, but they're not really as hard as people think. It's rather simple. Like I said in the previous video, what makes it hard is you second guessing yourself and you thinking it has to come through a certain way. That's all there is. That's it as a whole. Nothing more, nothing less. If you want to eat broccoli and kale and grapes every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, have that. If you want to have steak, pork chops, carrots, mashed potatoes, and I guess eggs Benedict every other day, go for it, pal. I wish you well. Let's go. But none of that's going to stop you from developing your gifts. If you're an empath, you're an empath. If you can feel other energies, you can. Just because, you eat chicken, so you're not a real empath because you don't feel that, that chicken's energy, and therefore it's not, you don't feel the karma, XYZ, blah, 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 blah. Okay, does karma exist? Yes, I believe that karma does exist, but not in the way that most people say it does. And I'll go into a different video about that. What do you all want to learn about in the future? What kind of videos would you like me to make? As far what would you like me to teach you or to talk about? Let me know in the comments below. And if you feel inclined, like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to subscribe, don't forget to click the bell so you get all the notifications, because you all know how YouTube is. As always, keep pushing forward and stay epic.